Okay, so it looks like the webinar is just going live now. We're going to wait a couple minutes here because we are having some people filter in still. In the meantime, we'll just mention that in the side, on the right-hand side of your screen, you should be able to see a chat bar. If you guys want to type in the chat bar and let us know where you're from, where you're watching from, there will be a bit of a delay coming in, so we're just going to wait a couple minutes here while everybody still logs into the webinar.
Great, yeah, and welcome. Really excited to have you guys on board. So yeah, let us know. Okay, we got some people coming in. Bonjour from Montreal or Montreal. I hope I said that right. So let us know where you're from, and this is going to be a great webinar. We're obviously going to be covering through Donna's strategy and how she does what she does. I mean, Donna always thinks that she's got kind of a humble approach on it, but the results are astounding. 44 listings through Facebook leads. That's incredible. You're obviously going to be here to learn more about how she does that. And yeah, it's going to be a great webinar. So we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for people to come in. Thanks. Linda from Orlando. We got Jeff from Victoria. We got Brian out of Winnipeg.
If at any point you guys are having any technical issues, just let us know in the chat bar as well. We do have a technical team who can look into that.
Yep. So Dan, it says you can't see anything on your screen. Maybe everybody else, can you see stuff on your screen? Scott here from Minnesota. Great, awesome. Okay, yeah, so let us know where you're from. Really excited to kick it off. We're just going to give it one more minute here as people keep coming on to the webinar.
Keep letting us know too, just in the sidebar, where you guys are visiting from.
So as we go through this webinar too, we just want to highlight that Donna, obviously being live, we're doing a live event. When we go through the strategy, if there's components that you would like us, if you want to have more questions or there's stuff you want to dive into, just ask a question. Ask a question on the right. So you should only see the slide right now that just says, where are you from? Type that in the chat bar. Let us know if you can see that. You can't see anything?
A lot of people aren't seeing or hearing anything.
Okay, well, what we'll do here, let me just, you obviously, no sound.
It says it's offline.
Oh. This is always what's so fun.
Technology's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
When it works.
I'll just see. Can you guys see us now? Can anyone see us, or are you still not seeing the screen?
Marcus said it just started for him, so maybe.
Might be a little bit of a delay, but let us know if you can see us. Hi, Siggy. Got it. I see it. Great. That's awesome. All right. Okay. So I'm going to launch back to the presentation. Hopefully, you'll be able to continue to see this. If not, we will lose a little bit. John says it's working. Great. Okay, it's coming in. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're golden. Everything seems fine. So, okay. So you should be able to see a screen that says, where are you from? Type that in the chat bar to the right. I think we're good. Everybody's saying yes. That's awesome. We got lots of people on the webinar. This is fantastic. Okay, so diving right into it. Obviously, you guys are here for one big reason, to learn how Donna added the 44 listings from last year. She obviously uses Facebook fairly heavily. And actually, maybe at least give a little bio on Donna.
Yeah, so Donna and I have actually been in touch for probably close to a year now. I was lucky enough to sit down with her last April or May, and we just chatted for a bit. We wrote a profile piece on Donna, which was so fantastic to get to know her, because Donna is just exceptional as a realtor, as a person, as everything, just to work with. She's phenomenal. So Donna originally started out in the education system. So she was there for 22 years, which is a long time to be a teacher. And she wanted to change, wanted something different. So I think in our conversation, she mentioned that she obtained her license in 4 weeks and went right to work. And since the very beginning, Donna has been getting exceptional results. So she is in the Fort Worth, Texas area, and she has been in that area the whole time. And she's been with StreetTax since 2015 as well. So she's coming up onto, she either just had her 2 year, she's about 2 and change now with us. And in 2017, so this past year alone, Donna closed well into, I believe she said about 70 or so deals, 45 deals of those were through StreetTax. So we work with Donna all the time. Kate and I, a coworker of mine, we are probably sending her emails every single day just because she's so wonderful to work with. We love keeping in touch with her. And she's fantastic. So we're so excited today to have everybody here. We're so excited and we're so lucky to have Donna here so that we can start diving into that and getting you guys a bit more, familiar with Donna's processes and everything that she has to offer you guys.
Great, yeah, and behind the scenes, a lot has been going on. So we actually do have a special offer for those of you that are on the webinar here today, and just some of the behind the scenes work on the strategy. So for some of you that are new to us, obviously we have a lot of clients on the webinar. For people that don't know, or maybe you're curious about Facebook, I'm going to move through this fairly quickly. But the numbers just keep increasing. I mean, all the way since the beginning, since Facebook's inception, the adoption rate is incredible. 80% of North Americans are logged in on Facebook. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other good platforms out there too, but Facebook, as you can see, still just dominates. And even with some of the changes that Facebook's bringing out, I actually think these changes are going to be good for the overall health of Facebook. And obviously, we adapt your ads as well as the funnels to those changes. But the reality is that people are there, right? The majority of people are on Facebook. So when you want to get in front of a seller, or if you want to grow your brand or extend your sphere, there's just no greater platform on the earth right now other than Facebook. So what do we do? For those of you that don't know, we work with clients like Donna, and essentially we go out there and we actually advertise on your behalf. So we set up the ads for you. Those ads are designed to capture specific kind of lead. Typically what we're most well known for is the seller leads. So specifically, we're going to go out there and capture the kind of people that you're after. And then, of course, there's a nurturing component to those leads as well. And a lot of that comes from agents just like you and just like Donna in this webinar here today. So let's get back to it. Obviously, this is why you're here today, to learn how Donna added those 44 listings. And so she was nice enough actually to provide this graph. So you can actually see her listings from January all the way through December. The blue, of course, being her other sources of listings, be it anything, from referral to anything else that she's doing or repeat business. And then, of course, the red is the street tech side. So Donna, as I just jump off of this presentation here, obviously, the question on people's minds, the majority of them are going to be wondering, how do you do this? How are you able to take a lead that someone's on Facebook that really doesn't have any idea who you are, doesn't know you, has never met you before, and you're able to take a lead like that and actually move them all the way through where you get their listing and then close that listing. So I don't know if you have anything you want to start off with that, or I can jump right into a couple questions.
Well, basically, when I get a lead come in, they're either usually address only or full submission leads. If I get an address only lead, I will send them a card in the mail that basically it has a sticker on it that will bring them back to the link to the capture page so that they can finish that submission so I could have some more information on them. That's resulted in a lot of times them actually going back and filling in everything else, or sometimes they'll call me, Facebook message me, just other ways of getting in contact with me. So when I get a full submission, I will send an email with the home value. I follow up with a letter, follow up with a bonbon. They're placed on a drip campaign, which is for me 5 weeks. That just kind of keeps them engaged for 5 more weeks.
So when you talk about the address only, for some of you in the audience that aren't familiar with it, that's a lead that clicked on a Facebook ad, landed on your funnel, and as they started going through the process, they didn't complete it. All we got from them was an address only. And I would say that the majority of agents really look at those as sort of dud leads or leads that haven't really converted. So let's just, based on the numbers that you showed us in the 44 listings, how many of them would you roughly guess came from address only leads?
Probably 15 to 20%.
Okay, so quite a. So imagine if you didn't do this. If you didn't do that, you would have lost out, I guess, on about like 6 or 7 of those deals, which is a pretty big chunk of change if you think about it over the entire year.
In the very beginning, I didn't do that at all. Probably for the first couple of months, I didn't even really know the address only submissions were there. So once I found out they were there, it was just like another just golden nugget, for me. So. And
when you do it, I think you do something slightly different than some agents, which is, when you see an address, you sort of wonder, okay, how am I going to approach this person? I mean, somebody, I don't have even their email address. So in your case, you don't send them their home evaluation, right? You don't send anything like that. You basically are trying to point them back to the funnel to see how serious they are. Is that correct?
Right. And in the very beginning, once I realized there were address only submissions on there, I would type up a home value, letter, mailed it to them. But it got to where when you have 200 or 300 a month, it was too much. So now I have pre-prepared, envelopes with just, hey, if you'd like to know the value of your home, please, I'd love to help, click on the link and, finish filling out the information and I'll get it to you. So yeah, I've tried both ways and I think they're both great. Just time-wise, sending out the whole home value, I just can't keep up right now.
Well, that makes total sense. And really so when you did do it before and you sent the whole home value, what was your response like? If you think about it now, where you used to send everybody the home value, would you get people to contact you back, or do you get more contacts now by not sending the home value for just an address only lead and you're just asking them to come back? How do you think this has played out as in the last couple months?
I've only been doing the new way since November, so it hasn't been, I don't really think, long enough to compare it to the first year and a half or the year that I was doing it the other way. So, but I do keep track of it, and probably I would say I probably get about the same, with both of them.
Okay, but one is considerably less work.
Exactly, right. So, and for me, that's just what I need right now.
Yeah.
And it kind of weeds out the people that are real serious and really want to know.
Yeah.
Versus, I just sent it to them and now they've got the information they need. And so they never contact me again.
Right. Okay. So then so now you get, okay, actually maybe to follow up on that. So you send them this postcard, this one time kind of going through, hey, come back and re-enter my funnel. And here it is. You include the link right in the actual letter, which is amazing too, because, so do you find people actually type that out and come right back to you, or do they call you or do they text you? How do they get back to you after you send that?
All different, just a variety. I get Facebook messages, I get phone calls, I'll get emails, and then a lot of people will go back to the link and finish filling it out. Mm-hmm. And I do have I probably have 15 or 20 address only submissions that have done it, just the address only submission, like multiple times, so and those people I've realized maybe they don't know how to actually go through and complete it. So I will at that point send them a home value in the mail or give them a, just another handwritten letter saying, hey, give me a call if you really want to know your value.
So that makes sense. So literally as people come back, some of them go through the funnel and end at exactly the same spot they did in the beginning. You treat them like a new lead again. So you were, sending them another, come back through again. But in this particular case, you're saying, okay, if they keep trying, I'm just going to send them a home valuation now. But the rest of the people, it seems like for the rest of them, most of them come the whole way through then, the second time around?
Yes, most of the time when I send a second, and sometimes I've done it 3 times without realizing it. And by the time I've done that, they've usually completed the whole thing. Okay.
And do you send another, like let's say an address comes in, they only came in the one time, you sent out this postcard just saying, hey, come back, you complete the process and I'll get you home evaluation, and they don't do anything. Do you have any way to stay in touch with now just those those leads again, or do you just kind of leave them at that particular point?
I probably should have a follow-up plan for that. I don't. Just time-wise, I just sending them. I can spend about an hour and a half a day just doing the address onlys that I've gotten for the last 24 hours. So, following up on all those again is just a little much right now.
And I know when I've spoken to Matthew Nicholas and done events with him too, he said the same thing. Really, he looks at, he sends out the first that first approach, and he's really trying to bring him back, and then that's kind of how he ups the ante a little bit to see kind of how serious they are. So that's good. That's a good approach. So now, I don't know if you get anything, but we got an email comes in, and you've actually got an email address. What does that look like? What's your process like on that?
So once I have an email address, I will do a home value report and kind of come up with a range of what I think their home's going to be worth. I'll send them an email with that information on it, and I'll go ahead and also send them or address a letter that I have already ready to go, and send it in the mail so that they get another follow-up in the next day or so of, about why do you want to sell now? Why do you, instead of waiting, and just some good tips of value for them. And then I follow up with a bonbon video that just says, hey, it's me. I sent you the home value, and If you have any questions, let me know. And then they're also put on a 5-week drip campaign to get emails from me for the next 5 weeks.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'm going to dive into that, but I'll address a couple questions now that are coming in. So as we go through this, and I encourage you to put your questions in. So don't worry, we're going to get to most of them as we go through, and keep bringing them in. And most of them we'll also cover towards the end. So I'll just kind of pick some now as we kind of go through it. So one of the questions.
Actually, I was gonna mention one of the questions that came through a little earlier that I wanted to touch on. And Donna, if you could answer this. People were asking how you send them an evaluation without seeing their home. So walk us through maybe that process.
That's a good question.
Some homes are easier than others. If it's been sold within the last, 8 years or so, I can usually find their home in the MLS and kind of, look at the old pictures and compare that to other homes in the neighborhood. If I get some that haven't been sold or in 10, 15 years, it's a little bit harder. And so I'll make the range a little bit wider, but also let them know in the email, hey, if you can give me some more information, this number may vary greatly one way or the other, depending on the condition of your home.
And how much of a range do you put in especially when you're sending it to somebody you have no contact with other than you're mailing something to them?
You cut out at the end a little bit, but
sorry about that. So for people that you've had no contact with, in terms of you haven't spoken to them, you haven't had a phone conversation or much of any conversation. So you send them their home evaluation, to obviously get them to get back to you, but at the same time providing enough value. What kind of range do you put in? Do you sort of have a formula that you work with when you're putting together evaluation?
It depends on the confidence I have in that range and the comps in the area. If I can see the home, and see the pictures and things of it that in the last 3 years or so, I'll give probably within $7,000 to $10,000. If I can't find much information, it could be as much as $20,000 to $25,000, difference in the range.
And have you ever tried doing it a little bit differently? Like, have you kind of always done it that way, or have you ever tried to give a bigger range or a tighter range to see if you get more responses or less responses?
I'm giving it more on the high end, but kind of leery of doing that now because I've found some people are disappointed when I go to their house and they're like, wait, you said we could do it for $160. And I'm like, yeah, but I, didn't know that it needed this much work or whatever. Right. So, more of anything, just so they're pleased when I get there and say, oh no, look, we can go higher than I thought,
Great. Yeah. So leaving some room. That makes sense.
Not over-promising.
Right. I just am reminded of something. Another agent, Julia, I know that if she ever spoke to them on the phone, sometimes she would say it a little bit higher or what she thought it was, but when she emailed them, she'd actually come in a little lower than what she said on the phone. And often she found that for very serious people, they'd get back to her quite quickly and say, well, I thought it was maybe more about here and here. And it was a great way to see. She used it as almost like a mistake that she was doing when she was sending it, just to see how serious they were in the response. So. But I think giving them a little bit of room on the top is a good idea, because then obviously, you don't want to have to always be coming down below and almost resetting their expectations. So Tanya was asking here as well, when you're looking for and doing the home evaluations, do you look up any other sources to sort of get more information about their home, or do you just use the MLS and comps in the area?
I use RPR, which is a program through MLS, but it gives an automatic home value range when you plug in that address. And then that RPR has like a 5-star rating and how confident they are in their score or their home value range. So I use that a lot, as if it's a 5-star, then I know it's probably pretty close. So I don't have to do as much research in the MLS on that home. Sometimes it's 1 star, sometimes, there's one, so that makes it a little more difficult.
And Karen's asking, when you send the address onlys and you're pointing them back to your funnel, do you use a sticker? Do you just write out the funnel, or do you print it out? What do you do with, how do you point them back?
I print out the website on labels. And so then I just stick the labels inside the envelope.
Makes sense.
And then Jeff as well, Julian asks as well, if you have customizable cards or just buy random cards.
I have right now I'm using just some blank ones on the inside. On the outside, they say hello, and I order them from Amazon and like in bulk. You can also, Walgreens has just blank cards that have a, pretty design on the outside. So I've used all different kinds, just kind of what I have on hand.
Great. So, okay, so back to we'll jump into the process again. So when you've got an email address, you were basically saying that when they come in, you send them that first auto email out, and then you have a series of 5 emails that start to go out to them. How do people respond to those emails, or do you ever mix it up, or what do you do when they basically come to the end of those 5 emails? Like, what's your process like that? Or do you add them to a mailer? What do you do with those leads?
They respond. Some people will respond after the first one and say, please take me off your list. Okay, great. If you ever need anything, let me know. I've had people, the last one is titled The Last One. And I've had people come back and say, hey, you haven't emailed me in a while, after that last one. But in general, if they haven't showed any interest in those 5 emails, I don't add them to my database. I don't, follow up again, because I literally have like 3,000 something leads on there that I would be following up with. And it's just not feasible.
And what do you do? You've obviously been with us for a little while, so your ads you've obviously got lots of leads, and then also you're going to probably have a few comments on your ad. How do you respond to comments? Like when people say really wacky things on Facebook to you, I'm sure they do, be it either positive or negative. How do you turn those? What's your approach like on those comments?
I've gotten a couple of rude ones, and I'll just sometimes just delete them, just not even going to respond. But a lot of people, will say, yeah, if I could get it for $1 million. And so, I'll respond like, hey, you never know, let me come out and see your home, or just something kind of, just right back at you kind of thing. But I always respond somehow, if nothing else, just saying. A lot of people will say, I'd love to know my value. So I respond with, okay, click here, or here's my email address, shoot me an email and I'll get back with you with your home value. So a lot of people have not actually, I've gained a lot of clients actually by just a comment, and they haven't gone through the whole submission or anything like that. So they're not actually on my dashboard or in the actual program. They've just commented on an ad.
And do you add them on Facebook? Are you private messaging them? How are you turning those people into relationships? Like how are you taking it past the Facebook comment?
I'll automatically invite them to like my business page. I don't generally ask people to be friends on Facebook until we form some kind of relationship. I will every once in a while, if someone, makes a pretty clear comment that they do want their home value and they're very interested, I'll send them a Facebook message and kind of let them know this is how you can get it.
One thing I love that you do, Donna, on your Facebook page as well, is once you get to know your clients, once they sell their home and everything like that, you do put their story on your Facebook page and you thank them, and that you were a part of their journey of selling their home. And I think that's awesome, because it does show this relationship that you build with your clients and how wonderful of a person you are. And I think you use Facebook so well to interact with people with your daily questions, to highlighting people. I think it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
And Donna, Belinda was asking a good question. So out of the, from a nurturing standpoint, out of the leads the StreetText leads that you closed in 2017, how many of them came from 2016? Like in other words, how many of the old leads that are quite old, do they turn around and do business with you?
Well, I didn't start StreetText until November or so of was it 2016?
I think it was November 2015.
2015, okay. So then a lot of, I'd have to actually go back and really look to be able to answer that clearly, for sure. But a lot of people, for the most part, people are about or so. I do have people that, are immediate. They'll get their home value and say, then I'll get a call, hey, can you come tomorrow? Sure. But for the most part, people, are 2 to 3 months out.
And one other thing that's interesting too about your approach, for people that are listening, especially right now that are watching, is that your approach is very, it's very soft, I think, from the consumer standpoint. we haven't got anything any further yet, but you're basically just sending them some information or pointing them back to your funnel. You're not even adding them on Facebook until you have a little bit of a relationship. You are engaging with them when they engage with you, but for the most part, you're just trying to provide some information, and then it seems like they get back to you. Is that right? Like either the way you're wording things or putting things together, at some point they either respond to one of your emails, or they call you, or you said, they find you on Facebook. Like, do you find that a lot of people do that? Will they just find you on Facebook and send you a message as well?
I have that, yes. And I think the biggest thing I found is, in my strategy, I guess, is I provide items of value. I make myself a resource, and I am so not the pushy salesperson. I know it works for a lot of people. I don't function that way. So I just provide items of value, show them how I can help them either now or in the future. And that works best for me.
And do you mail your leads anything after on the email side as well? Like, when they come in, you got an email, are you sending them stuff in the mail on an ongoing basis?
I just send that first letter, 3 reasons to sell now, unless I have an appointment with them, or they contacted me and said, hey, I want you to call me in 2 months, and we'll set up a time to meet. When they do that, I will go ahead and set them up on my CRM, and they'll get a monthly mailer and get a monthly email that's related to the mailer. But other than that,
Okay. And then schedule-wise, I think one of the things is that your strategy is for the most part pretty easy to follow. But I think where people will start to probably fall apart when they follow something like yours is, how do you organize your time? Like, how do you structure, Donna's day so you can actually get this done and make sure this happens? So are you able to walk us through that at all? Like, what does a day in the life look like for you when you're trying to make sure they've got your address onlys are getting their leads? You've got some people you want to get some home evaluations out to. Because correct me if I'm wrong, is it just you, or do you have an assistant, or are you working by yourself?
I hired a transaction coordinator back in June or July. So that's changed my life. It's been awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. So how do you organize your day and do all of this? Because you're still doing the lion's share of all the work.
Yeah, well, basically, my first 3 hours of every day booked. I don't set appointments before noon, if at all possible, just so I can make sure and have that time to do all my, prospecting. So, my morning looks like I get up and get out of bed, and I don't get dressed yet. I don't do any of that. I just go and work on my prospecting, and having the letters prepared in advance, having the address only prepared in advance as well. They're all sealed or stuffed, sealed, stamped. All I have to do is write their name and address on it. So that helps me get a lot more done every morning, having those things done in advance. And so, I've hired my sisters and stuff to help me get those ready. Just, so I've got, boxes of 200 or 300 that are just sitting there ready to go, which saves me hours and hours.
That's smart. So Tanya was asking a quick question, and I thought I just touched on this. So you had mentioned that when people are commenting on your ad, you add them to your Facebook business page. And, she didn't think you could do that if you aren't Facebook friends. So I thought I'd just touch on that. If somebody comments on your ad, because it's sponsored by your business page, you actually now can click below them and click add, or send them an invitation to like your page. So I believe that's what you're doing. Is that correct?
Yeah, you cut it out the end. But what I think you're talking about is when I click on like who's liked my page or who's liked my ad, it'll automatically pull up all of those names, and right next to it has an invite or invited. And so I've either already invited them and it's kind of blanked out, or it's blue and I just click the invite button. It's that quick and simple.
And that's exactly what we do for Street Text too. Obviously, we run ads, lots of people comment or like or whatever it may be, and we just open those same things up and just say invite to like your business page. And it's actually amazing how many people respond by just clicking accept. So, and then now they're part of your ecosystem. There's a chance that if you're posting stuff to your business page, they're gonna see it. So you're expanding your network within the community as well. So hope that answers your question, Tanya.
So we just jumped a little off base from Donna's schedule, and I do have a question for you about that, Donna. We've been chatting so much in the last few months, and you mentioned at one point that you do occasionally have slow days. But there's a component of being consistent that is really, really important. Can you kind of jump into the consistency and how it's really important to kind of keep that momentum, and even if you do have a slow day, is to kind of keep that going?
And what's funny is I saw a quote last night on Facebook, and it said, in order to experience consistency, loyalty to the process is essential. And I thought, wow, that's like, totally encompasses all of this. Just being loyal to that same process every single day, and making sure that you're following up with everyone. On some of my slow days, if I'm having, less leads, I'll go back through and see who was contacting me or who was I talking to, and they kind of, fell off, or, we just kind of quit talking, and I'll send them a quick little personal note or something like that, just to make sure that I'm still leveraging those ads or those leads every day.
That's awesome. So let's take a few more questions. So I know that a lot of you have questions, what are the exact templates and the things that Dawn is using. And so just to let you know, I'll actually be covering that a little bit more back on the slides again here in a moment. So what I'll do is so I'm not ignoring those questions. We're going to circle around and talk about that. But I'm going to maybe see if there's any other kind of questions here that I can answer for you kind of along the way. So thanks, Jason. You said you're learning a lot.
I know someone did previously ask about Donna's ad budget, and Donna, if you don't mind me jumping into that, that will vary from person to person. Donna's right now, I believe last time we checked Donna, which was yesterday or the day prior, you were saying about $15. But again, that's something that you'll be chatting to either Marcus or Logan, your lead conversion specialist, about for your specific area. So that will vary from person to person. Donna's currently is at $15 a day for her ad. And Donna, how many, do you know how many zip codes you're currently targeting?
I just do actually Fort Worth, just the city. So it's not, I did run another ad at the same time with just one certain zip code, and it wasn't performing as well. So I just added that zip code into my Fort Worth ad.
Yeah, and I think you target a pretty broad area, and I think your budget's changed a fair bit of time, but you spend more than a lot of agents do as well. And I think it's helpful to know, because sometimes when you talk about lead volume, sometimes people are thinking, well, how do you get so many over like a 2-year period? But it's also because you do spend typically double, or at times you even spend triple what a lot of people do. So keep that in mind as well. Is that I think what Donna started finding is that when the system started working and you started seeing the results that you were after, you were willing to spend more to basically generate more leads to grow your business. So keep that in mind. On that note, any other questions right now that we want to jump in, or should I talk a little bit more about the process? You want to see if there's anything else that you guys are seeing? Eddie, curious to know if we do get a number. Oh, okay, this is a great question. So we didn't touch on it because I already knew your response from the past. What do you do, Donna, with phone numbers?
I love this answer.
Nothing.
So to answer your question, Eddie, obviously some people might reach out and call you directly, and you might have a conversation. But what would you say? Are you typically speaking to people prior at all to giving them a home evaluation, or are you sending the home evaluation first? What's it like when somebody calls you? Do you ever have a conversation? Maybe is this a better way of saying it? Do you ever have a conversation prior to sending a home value?
I do have people reach out and from an address only card, or from the Facebook ad, and they'll call me and ask me about their home value just because they don't want to give me their email address or whatever, and that's fine. But other than that, most of the time I have a phone conversation with them before I send a home value.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, like, since we worked with a lot of real estate agents, and especially for you in the audience here, some of you are going to gravitate to Donna's approach. You're going to think, oh, this is wonderful. This is so me. This is what I love to do. Others of you are thinking, oh, I would do this completely differently. And that's actually okay. I think what you should take away from this webinar is there might be a nugget or two in here that you could add to your process. And it may even help you rethink a little bit of your strategy, because maybe you ignored something that actually has real value in it by adding some of Donna's approach. But don't feel bad if you like to do something different. Like Eddie, you mentioned that you prefer to talk to people first, and that's totally fine too. I think there's a lot of realtors out there as well that they do everything they can to get a conversation started. And I can think of David Elke, who we featured in the past. And that's really important to him. He's looking to get that conversation. So basically from this webinar and from Donna's strategy, just take the pieces that fit best into your business, and so that you can really maximize your return. So how many closed deals in 2017 from leads in 2017? Maybe that's what the percentage. I don't know if you have a percentage on hand of your leads that closed. We can probably get back to you on that. I don't know if you know that, Donna, on top of your head, but
how many?
Do you know what percentage of your leads turn into deals by any chance?
Oh gosh, no, I'd have to look at that. I'm not quite sure.
So yeah,
I like this question. So Bev asks if you have a intro video.
Yeah, we didn't cover that, but I believe you do.
Yes.
He doesn't have one on our ad, but let's talk about your intro video, Donna. So when do you send that out, and what kind of video is it?
I actually have, well, there's 2 intro videos. There's one they'll get when they get, because there's an email that goes out via street text, automatically once they do a submission. And at the end of that email, it says, hey, I'm working on your home value. I'll get back to you soon. And at the end of the email, there's, click here to see if you'd like to see more about me. And it's just a short little, hey, I'm Donna, and I'm working on your home value. I'll get back to you soon. And then, so that goes with the auto email. And then after I actually sent them their home value, I will send a BombBomb video that is just a generic, it goes, the same one goes to everyone, but, just the title is checking in. And it's just like, hey, it's Donna, I sent your home value. You want to make sure you got it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know.
That's awesome. That's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit more on the slideshow here, and we'll have some time at the end to take some more questions. I'm just going to shift over. So thanks so much, Donna, for that and for your entire strategy. And I think what's interesting, and probably a lot of you have already asked this and you're wondering, is so I'll go with the slideshow here. So what Donna gets more than anything is, Donna, how do you do it? A lot of realtors, and maybe some of you have done this too, you've reached out to Donna and you wanted to know her strategy. And because we have a nice insider group and people are connected, but we've even found that a lot of people are reaching out to Donna that aren't even our clients. They're fascinated with her results, and they want to know how she does what she does. And we hear that all the time. In fact, this is what we typically hear. We'll hear things like, what exactly do you do? Can you share your BombBomb video with me? Or Donna, do you use Messenger? And what do you say? Or what do you do with Just Curiously? And these are all very, very good questions. And they're questions that you sort of want to hear it directly from Donna. So in preparation for this webinar, we sort of went above and beyond, and Donna actually has come and joined and worked with us to create a course, a specific course that goes through her entire strategy. So it really is a step-by-step approach. And I'll actually walk you through a couple things here. So we've broken it down into 4 different modules. And it's everything that you saw today, just going really, really deep. So for instance, it's what does Donna's initial email actually say? When she's doing her self-introduction or her video, what are the do's and don'ts? When she sends out a home evaluation, what exactly does she include in that? And when she's preparing it, how does she prepare it? Now, some of it we have covered. We're just going to go really, really deep on all of these different categories. And then, we're going to continue on that. So when you're handling your address-only submissions, and you want to see exactly what Donna sends, including what is, when she's pointing people back to her funnel, what does she say on that sticker? All this is going to be included right here as well. And Donna, if you don't mind, maybe I'll even get you to mute your microphone just for a second, just in case it gives some feedback, kind of as we're going through. So, why she doesn't call people. Some of Donna's, she's actually taken the time to film some sections on why she does call people or doesn't call people, sorry. Or text people, and her schedule. So she's actually laid out her entire schedule as well. So she worked hard on putting this together for a couple of different reasons. One is really we want to help you guys. We want to give you some good strategies. And I really endorse Donna's approach because of the fact that I think it's an approach that really a lot of realtors can follow and use. It's not one where you need to have some amazing scripts on hand, or you need to really master some difficult kind of, phone skills. This isn't like that at all. This is really an approach that if you follow it and do it, I think you're going to see some really good results, and consistency is the key. So at the end of this, what we really wanted you to walk away with was a clear step-by-step, so you know exactly how to follow up for both the full and the partials, all of her templates, all of her scripts, all of her schedules, and obviously also to save Donna a ton of time. I mean, Donna is an incredibly giving person, as you guys can see. She's done multiple webinar events with us, and she's probably answered a ton of your questions already, especially if you've reached out to her in the past. But by putting it all in one place, we found this was a much better way for you guys to get, better access to your entire strategy, and at the same time, just really benefit from this approach. So, but it's not for everybody. I mean, as some of you guys have heard here, you may have a different style, and that's totally fine. This course may benefit you, it may not. This is probably mostly for agents who really resonate with the approach that Donna's taking. You're probably newer in the industry, or maybe you've moved, maybe you've changed locations, and you really just want to adopt her strategy as you're getting started again in a new market. And the way I look at hers too is it's really maximizing the return on your investment. So for some of you, you might be treating, really working on phoning all of your leads, and maybe you're pretty good at that. This might be a course for you if you want to get even more out of your investment. As Donna said on the webinar earlier, I think exactly what the percentage was, but at least another 10 or 15 or maybe even 20% of all of her deals that she did in a year are coming from her address-only submissions. And that's probably, where most agents don't do anything. And I get it. It's a lot of work. And even for Donna, it's a lot of work. So she's really thought hard over the last 2 years of what can I send to people that doesn't take me as much time, but I still get the results I'm looking for with this particular strategy. So right now, we put this course together. Obviously, I just wanted to cover that there's going to be a cost for it. We do have a special and a promotion for you that are attending today. But, Donna gives a lot, and she's given a lot. And I think that even for you being on the webinar today, you've probably learned things that if it can convert even one lead for you extra throughout the entire year, there's probably significant value for you. But, at the same time, she's sharing everything. This is really her in-depth strategy. And so to do something like this, we think that it's only fair if we're able to compensate and do something where Donna also receives benefit. So, I think for all of you guys out there wanting to adopt her strategy, this is a small fraction of a price to pay if you really want to, implement the strategy, see exactly how she buys her postcards, what she does, what she puts on them, and follow her entire process all the way through. So actually for you guys today, we do have a promotion. So for you, I'll actually just run it right here. I'll just grab it. If you're serious about doing this and you want to take an advantage of this, we actually have a little bit of a promotion. And we're having it run for the next couple days, and the reason being is that we're actually going to be launching this course next week. So for you guys that are here, and if you want all of Donna's strategies and all of her templates and all of everything that she does, you can actually go ahead and you can basically click on that blue link there where it says promo. And when you go to the course and you want to buy it, you're actually going to put in that StreetText Hero 1 in the coupon code, and it'll basically save you 15%. So if this is something that you guys want to take action on, I highly recommend it. I will also be sending an email out after this. And, so it's here for you guys if you really want to dive into your entire approach. And I also want to speak to some other people here today. Some of you guys might be on this webinar and you've never experienced StreetText. You have no idea what we do or how it works. And everything I'm talking about here seems wonderful and seems great, but you really just want to kind of see how your market performs. We actually do offer a 7-day trial. It is a paid trial, though, because you have to spend money on Facebook. So we charge $99 for it. But what we've done today is we've bundled it. So you're obviously going to save the 15% on the course today by using that promotion, that StreetText Hero. But also for some of you guys, if you want to take action and you want to get that course, but you also want to test StreetText out for a 7-day period, you can actually do that today. And what we'll actually do is we're going to reimburse some of your trial costs, provided you've also grabbed the course. So in total today, you're going to actually only spend $71.50 for the trial and $127 for the course instead of the $150. And together, it ends up being $199. So you would be normally paying $250 for this, but you're going to get it. You're going to save the $50. So none of this is hard sells. We're not trying to push any of you guys into this stuff. But basically, I mean, if you're looking to grow your business significantly in 2018, I think obviously going the route of Facebook is the right thing to do. I mean, obviously, results do vary and markets are different, but that's why you offer a trial. That's why you do a 7-day test. You want to test your market. You want to see how well your ad performs. In the case of Donna, she mentioned too, you know, one of her zip codes wasn't working, so she made a change. But this really allows you to test out your market first. And then if you want to take that next level and implement a course, well, you have it available to you today. This course will be available in the future, but if you want to just take advantage of the discount, you can do that by taking action today. So maybe what we'll do,
we can dive into a few more questions.
Yeah, we'll just answer a few more questions. And if some of you, I'm losing my voice here. If some of you guys want to start the trial, I'll actually just run a link here for that as well. So
now, for those of you who, if you have come into the conversation a bit late, there is that chat bar just on the far right-hand side of the screen, so you can put any questions in there. Once we're done this, we will switch back over to the chat feature so we can see some more questions. So putting your questions for Donna or for us on that sidebar there, and you can start answering those guys for those questions.
So Donna, you may have to turn your mic back on here again. So. All right. So do we have any other questions? So if you're already on StreetText, how much is the course? Today you can get it for that discount of $127. So you can save the 15%. Do the trial. Thanks, Tanya. I got so many leads over the weekend I couldn't believe it, and I was so skeptical. So yeah, I definitely recommend the trial. Sorry guys, I just lost my voice.
Rob has a question, so I wanted to come back into StreetText. How do I do it, and how did I pick up this course? So again, you can use the 15% discount as well today, and you can do the bundle, so you can get the 7-day trial as well as the course if that's what you're looking to do.
Rich, you paid your year in advance. What will it cost me? The course will still be the same, and we'll take advantage of that discount. Just use the coupon. So I'll put it back up here again. I'll actually run the that same offer again here if I can. I'm just going to move the trial thing and bring up that first one. So if you're looking to do the course, click the blue link in your sidebar here, and just make sure you use the coupon StreetTextHero1, and that'll make sure you get it. And obviously, if you guys get stuck, you can always reach out to us after the fact as well.
And just a reminder as well, if you do sign up for the course right now, the course is not going live until next week. So you will have a week to prepare. And once that goes live, we will give you all the information for that. But you can get a jump start on it and see access to all of those different modules. It just won't start until next week.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if there are questions coming in here.
Oh man, Aaron, that's amazing. I'm not even through the trial and I got a listing. Very rare. You should count yourself lucky. I don't want to set that as an expectation. That is unlikely to happen, but that is amazing. Well done, Aaron. That's very, very cool.
And we have somebody who also said how many zip codes is Donna targeting. And just to reiterate, Donna is doing all of the Fort Worth area. So she's not targeting any specific zip codes.
So she's a bit broader. And I would say our agents vary. Some are very, very specific on where they target. Some are a little bit broader. It's really up to you and where you want to start. You can adjust your zip code and you can move around when you're a client of ours. Says hang tight, John. Our call is recorded. Yes, Bev. So we will be putting this webinar together as a replay. If I can just get my voice back here. Great. Well, I think that's most of the questions. We're going to stay on here a little bit longer for any other ones that come on. Donna, did you have anything else or did you want to see anything, address anything? Are you good? Anything else? In the comments, you might have to come on if you want to add anything, but
no, I'm good. Thanks everyone for joining us today. It's great.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. So I think just to cover again, if you want access to that course, you can email us after the fact. Again, it's not a hard sell. It's just for you if you want to do it. Donna's graciously taken the time to put it all together.
Regarding the course as well, if you have any questions, you can email myself, Elise at StreetText.com. It's ELYSSE at StreetText.com. Or you can email Kate as well, which is just KATE at StreetText.com. We can answer any of your questions regarding the course or any of your questions regarding the webinar. Yeah, send us an email and we can definitely follow up with you as well.
So yes, the course is accessible 24/7. You can access it as much as you like. It's module based, so you can kind of go through it at your own pace, but you'll have all the information there forever. And if we're going to make any updates, it'll update to that course for you guys as well.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about it is that you can do it at your own pace. We know that you guys have busy lives, busy work days, you have kids at home, all of that kind of stuff. This is totally at your own pace. You will go through this. If you have 20 minutes on a Tuesday, you can start going through it. Nothing will expire. It's all there and all available for you. So all at your own pace, which is super, super awesome with all of your busy lives and schedules.
So Alina, StreetText does now include drip campaigns, and also heavily crafted with the help of Donna's approach as well. So yes, we do have that available to you when you run your trial as well. Great. So I think these are all really good questions.
And just to reiterate, Bev, you just asked if the course is live. The course is not live yet. So the course will be live next week.
That's why we're offering the discount
yeah.
for you guys. So get in ahead of time, take advantage of it, and it'll be live for you guys next week. Great. Great. And yeah, so thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Yeah, we really appreciate it, obviously, Donna, but really the big thanks is to you. You know, you've worked hard on this approach. You've put in 2 full years now on this approach. So I think you've proven out that it works. It's not just a one-hit wonder. It is a strategy that if agents follow, I think the hard part is the consistency. Mm-hmm. And I think that you've done a good job in the course of trying to lay that out. And I love that quote that you shared. I mean, it's really just the loyalty to the process and sticking through with it. So great. And so if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email us back. Also, let us know what you thought of this. I mean, obviously we got seen some great comments here, but after the fact, we always want to improve. We always want to provide really good value for you guys. So if you got any other questions, just get back to us, and we'd love to hear your feedback. So thanks so much, Donna. If you don't mind, just stay on for a moment, and I'll just end the webinar for everyone else. So have a great rest of your day.